It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds. JBS pays up after a ransomware attack last week. Why the company made the decision and what this means moving forward.
This year we have a kind of a severe lifeguard shortage. So we're delaying that opening while we get more guards on staff.
Pandemic-related hiring woes are now impacting Front Range pools.
We don't have enough lifeguards to be able to fully staff all of our pools.
Tonight, will this dry up your summer plans? And how cities hope to keep your kids safe. Children's Hospital is now participating in Pfizer's vaccine trial for young kids.
If more children get infected, because that's where it's going to spread, you are going to see an uptick in disease, and it's going to be more severe.
This comes as Colorado's largest city hits a huge vaccine milestone. Plus, the Supreme Court leaves a decision to make the military draft gender neutral up to Congress.
One possibility is that Congress would just simply eliminate registering for the draft at all.
And something that hasn't happened in almost 100 years is back in Colorado. Wolf pups have been spotted in our state. Good Wednesday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. JBS USA has paid a ransom in connection to a cyber attack last week. The amount was paid in Bitcoin and was the equivalent to $11 million. In a statement, the CEO of JBS said, quote, "We felt this decision had to be made to prevent any potential risk for our customers." The company says the payment was made after a vast majority of their facilities were operational again. The FBI is still investigating the attack. There is nothing better than a pool day on a hot Colorado day, but the same hiring shortages that restaurants and retail are facing is now impacting the openings of pools across the Front Range. Denver7's Eddie Guajardo checked in with several city officials across the area, struggling to hire staff and lifeguards.
When the heat turns up,
I really like the slide over there.
Coloradans say it's time to dive into a pool, swim a few laps, or just splash around.
The children were hot and sticky. They wanted to cool off.
Andrea Berry brought her kids to the Scott Carpenter Pool in Boulder.
It's really busy and we're really excited about that.
Boulder Parks and Recreation manages 5 pools, and they've been forced to make some tough decisions.
When we don't have enough lifeguards to be able to fully staff all of our pools.
Some kids hanging on the lane lines there. Make sure you're watching for that.
The shortage forced the city to adjust pool operation hours, limited access to pools, and has now delayed the opening of Spruce Pool.
Hey, body walk, please!
This marks Ian's 3rd year at the Scott Carpenter Pool.
We have a bunch of people, especially at this facility, and we need it to stay safe, of course, so we need the help.
Cities across Colorado are experiencing a similar shortage.
When you're done with that rotation.
A spokesperson with Aurora Parks Recreation and Open Spaces says there are 100 lifeguards short this summer, and it's impacting pool hours. Loveland Parks and Recreation is down about 30 lifeguards, which delayed the opening of Lake Loveland. Boulder pays new lifeguards $13 an hour. Aurora pays $14. Loveland $13.25.
We're seriously looking again at increasing those starting wages just so we're more competitive.
The city of Boulder says they're looking into incentives and admit they have a lot of competition offering higher wages. Ian encourages teens to apply.
It's just an incredible ability to be able to save lives and keep the pool deck safe.
And the parents here hope the next generation steps up this summer.
I hope some young people step up, because we want to be here every day this summer now that we got the pass.
Addie Guajardo, Denver7.
Addie, thank you. And you won't find much relief from rivers and creeks. Today, crews implemented a tubing ban for the St. Vrain Creek through the town of Lyons. Just yesterday, swift water rescue teams had to rescue an 18-year-old who fell off an inner tube. Luckily, she was able to make it to a rock in the middle of the creek. This closure will stay in effect until at least June 25th. There are also restrictions on Clear Creek, no inner tubes, and no swimming. The district attorney's office will not file charges against a man accused of robbing and assaulting a woman holding a yard sale. Westminster police arrested a man on Sunday, but now say it was all a misunderstanding. An elderly couple say the man stole their bag of money, but it all turns out that they just misplaced that bag. We reached out to Westminster Police for comment, but have not heard back. Tonight, the search continues for this missing 73-year-old. Pauline Krug hasn't been seen since 8 o'clock last night. She was going to walk to her daughter's house, but never made it there. Krug was last seen in the 1400 block of Truman Court in Louisville. Bloodhounds and K-9 units have been out searching for her. Krug was last seen wearing a purple shirt, brown shorts, and tan baseball cap. She's from the UK and speaks with an accent. Investigators say she doesn't have a car and has dementia. Today, the Boulder Valley School District said Krug was a former employee who used to work at Coal Creek Elementary in Louisville. If you see her, call police. The city of Denver has reached its goal of having 70% of residents vaccinated. It's not clear when the city reached the goal. The city says cases and hospitalizations are also declining. Another Coloradan was just alerted today that they are the next millionaire winner in the state's vaccine lottery. We don't know who that person is until Friday. The weekly drawing will continue until July 7th. The last day to qualify is June 30th. Children's Hospital Colorado is playing a huge role in protecting kids against COVID-19. They're participating in Pfizer's vaccine trial for kids ages 5 to 11. Right now, there are no approved vaccines on the market for kids under the age of 12. Children's Hospital is one of 80 sites across the U.S. that is now looking at the efficacy of vaccines in young kids. Do young kids have the same immune response that older children and adults have? The study will also look at side effects and safety. So why is this important now? Well, Dr. Eric Simoes is leading the study here in Colorado, and he says this virus has evolved. When it first appeared, we weren't too worried about the virus spreading among kids, especially young kids. He says things are changing.
Hence the urgency to vaccinate children. The disease may be milder, but the virus is going to transmit. If more children get infected, because that's where it's going to spread, you are going to see an uptick in disease, and it's going to be more severe.
Once the study gets underway, we could see results in 6 months, but the kids will continue to be monitored over the course of 2 years. A construction sign was removed in Denver's Rhino neighborhood today after 3 messages were posted on the sign clearly not related to any road work. The company that rents the signs to the city tells us there's a control board inside this box, and sometimes it's left unlocked or someone has an extra key, making it an easy hack for someone who knows what they're doing. On Monday, the Supreme Court declined to hear a challenge to the country's mail-only draft registration requirement for military service. The court was asked to reconsider a 1981 decision that stopped women from being required to register as well. But Denver7's Micah Smith found out the fight to make selective service gender neutral isn't over yet.
The court said Congress should make the final decision, and several lawmakers are already discussing legislation to address the issue. So I decided to dig a little deeper and find out what happens next. If that legislation passes the House and what's sure to be a battle in the Senate, CU Boulder law professor Richard Collins told me we may say goodbye to the draft.
One possibility is that Congress would just simply eliminate registering for the draft at all. The draft can be revived without registration. It just would take more time.
Collins says also a new law could finally solve the question of gender identity and who can serve in the armed forces.
If Congress were to insist on drafting women, then you would get some, I think, immediate questions about gay folks and transgendered folks. Because those are on the radar screen.
You may remember President Trump essentially banned most transgender Americans from joining the military, and President Biden overturned that ban. Some activists feel with the new administration in place, now is the time to once again challenge the notion that only men should be required to register for the draft. Reporting in the newsroom, Micah Smith, Denver7.
Micah, thank you. For the first time in almost 100 years, there are wolf pups in Colorado. According to CPW, there are 3 wolf pups confirmed in the litter. CPW says there could be more. A typical litter is between 4 and 6 pups. The 2 adult wolves, John and Jane, were given GPS collars in February. They were originally living in Wyoming but are denning in northern Colorado. CPW says it is working with landowners near the den to make sure everyone gets along.
We have Latinx queer members, we have bisexual and trans and gay and lesbian members.
Colorado's state capitol is becoming more diverse.
I feel like I wear two hats. I wear the HD27 representative hat, and then I wear this other hat of being the trans legislator.
To celebrate Pride Month, we have a look at the progress being made at our state capitol and how queer lawmakers are trying to make our state better for everyone.
Looks hot again for tomorrow, but this cold front is approaching. I'll let you know what it means for Friday and the weekend.
And coming up later, a new program is helping make sure seniors are able to live comfortably and independently.
I can still do things for myself, and I look around me and I think things over, and I know where I came from.